that.
right.
What a warm introduction for both of you. But I feel like that probably happens wherever you go. Like you go to Starbucks and everybody like leaps to their feet and starts applauding.
I don't go to Starbucks anymore. I'm famous. Thank you so much.
Well,
I walked to the Ralphs today, and I did get a nice round of applause.
A woman of the people.
well, you do go to Starbucks, but you give them a fake name. You told
Yeah, I
me,
was just
so
joking, y'all.
that's-
I go to Starbucks all the time. I'm addicted like everyone else. Yeah, I give them a fake name, but I love it because they know who I am, and they say that's not you, and then I say yes, I am, and then we have a whole little thing, and that's fun.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here. This is an audience of your fellow SAG-AFTRA actors. Yes. And actually, Sheryl, I know you have a big connection to SAG-AFTRA Foundation. You've been a big donor and supporter. In fact, there's even a Sheryl Lee Ralph seat.
Somebody on the
He's in
front
it.
row is sitting in it.
He's in it. You're
Oh,
in
I
the Sheryl
love
Lee
that.
Ralph seat.
Thank you.
I wish we could give you a prize. Do you have a SAG card already? Yeah, okay.
All right. You've got to support the SAG Foundation. All of us as members, we need to support our own 501c3. We have to depend on each other because as you saw in the strike, if it wasn't for all of us showing up strong the way we did, we would not have had the great turnout and changes that we have. So I encourage you to show up for us as actors.
So I actually always like to start by asking actors, how did you get your SAG card? What was the job that brought that very special card to you?
Mine was At Midnight. You guys remember that show?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was, if you don't remember, it was a late night game show.
Chris
with
Hardwick, right?
Chris Hardwick. And comedians would come on and we do like games and quizzes and stuff. I don't remember what else. I had been like chipping away at it with little things, and then that was like my final thing that tipped me over. And actually somebody from SAG was on set and told me that I was like now eligible. So I do remember that.
That's so cool.
I was very excited. Yeah.
Sheryl, for you?
Mine was actually like a storybook. Honest to God, I literally did a tour of duty with the Department of Defense. And at the end of it, my college professor, because I did a independent study with a professional acting troupe called the Negro Ensemble Company. Yes. And it had some of the most incredible actors. And here I am, I think about this 18-year-old kid, 19 when I graduated from college, and I do this first tour of duty, and I end up in California, and literally I call my dad because I get off the plane because I'm making a connection to New York, but I feel like something is here for me in California. And I call my dad and I say, Daddy, do we have any family in California? And he's like, what the hell are you doing in California? And I said, Daddy, I just need a place to stay. And he said, don't move. And I waited in the phone booth when they used to have phone booths in the airport at LAX. And my dad calls me back and he said, I have a long lost cousin named Maybelle on South Orange Grove Avenue. Maybelle gave me a room that's probably about the size of my closet now, and I stayed there for 3 months. But the first week, I got a call from the teacher from Negro Ensemble Company, and he says to me, I've got an audition for you. You have got to be at Warner Brothers tomorrow at 10 o'clock to meet Sidney Poitier. I'm like, what the hell? What? Maybelle now, we now know that people are bipolar, but we didn't know anything about it then. Maybelle. Facts, thank you. Maybelle and I rented a car, And it was supposed to take us 15 minutes to get to Warner Brothers from Sunset Boulevard. How long you think it took? An hour. Because she's chain smoked all the way. Because I told her she was going to meet Mr. Sidney Poitier. Babies, all I know is Maybelle got me there. I got the role. That is how I got my card to join the union.
Amazing.
That was it.
I was excited about At Midnight, honestly. I was like, I love that show.
And no longer? She was like, until I heard that story, I was. Wow.
I was actually going to ask if you won At Midnight that night. But
Yeah, I actually was I won At Midnight like 5 times. I'm a little champion over there. Yeah, until Chris Hardwick left. And yeah, I was on there multiple times and always win, as I always do.
And you really won because you got a SAG card.
And I really won because I got a SAG card. An actor. Yes, yeah.
Well, again, you both just received Emmy nominations for your fantastic work on Abbott Elementary.
Thank you.
You've been nominated in this category before. Sheryl, you won in 2022.
Yes.
What is it like at this point? You know, part of me thinks like, oh, you're used to getting these nominations, but you probably never get used to it. What does it mean at this point in your career to still get this recognition?
I'm so thrilled. I'm so happy. Do you know what it is like to bring your best to the game and then to be sidelined for no good reason?
Sorry.
Do you know what I'm saying? For no good reason other than we just don't pick players like you. So you can do your work from year to year to year and have it acknowledged as great work. But it is not until something comes around like lightning in a bottle, like Abbott Elementary, where it is undeniable to look at the talent of the cast that we are in. Because no matter what anybody says, the cast of Abbott Elementary, we are one of the best casts on TV right now. And being nominated, it never gets old. Keep nominating us, baby.
Okay. I come. No, I didn't mean that. Please.
She does not.
I didn't mean it like that. Because I know I'm not going to be as rousing as Sheryl. That's what I was saying. I was like, man, maybe I should have went second. But I come at it from a different point of view in that this isn't anything I had ever thought about before. And so it's, I'm more of the mind of I don't believe in competition in the arts. So this has been a new thing to wrap my mind around. Of course, I'm happy and honored and all of those things. But for me, it's gratifying as someone who feels like I came into this from a alternative path. And so that's what I represent of, I don't feel like I see people that look like me and who are like me make it to this part of the industry. So that for me is gratifying as far as the competition aspect. I don't compete with anybody but myself. So I'm just like, wow, I'm not even in that mind frame, and that makes me feel undeniable, that I continue to be nominated regardless. So
I love it.
That's where I am. Yeah.
Yes.
Jenelle, I feel like, and I'm not just saying this. Jenelle was one of our Variety's 10 comics to watch years ago, and I remember like you've always been a star. We've kind of been waiting for that vehicle that would show that to the world. When you first read the character of Ava, and I mean this as a compliment, but like on paper that character could be very one-dimensional, and you bring so much humor and heart, and we really come to love her, even though like she's done some questionable things in the past, and that's real skill. That's real acting.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's like I said, that's gratifying. And when I did read it, I just thought, yeah, she was hilarious, but I thought she was like so just vibrant. I could see her even in the mannerisms, and I was very interested in playing someone like her because just the attitude of someone who wants to be famous is very interesting to me. That's not who I am, and I just always, that's just an interesting personality to me. So that's what made me interested in her. Someone who wants to be, and I'm getting better at this, somebody who wants to be seen, somebody who is performing all the time. And I think that's something that people forget about the character. So like, as when people say she's one-dimensional, that's not true, because I always think of her as someone who's playing a role on a TV show, in a TV show. She is most aware, and it's getting less by writing and by choice, but especially in the first season, she's always aware of the cameras. They're there before her, and she's performing. And I think one of the amazing things that the writers are doing by making her more real, and how I'm trying to convey it as her becoming more real, is she's becoming less aware of the cameras. I am making a choice to not do the mugging to the camera, and also reveal real. So I feel like as she's going, now you're seeing Ava. Before, she was playing a character that wanted to be famous. It's a show about her, So yeah, I never saw her as one-dimensional at all. Yeah,
no. I think in a lesser actor's hands, though, she could have come off.
Well, thank you so much. I heard everybody auditioned, and I got it. So I feel like it was meant to be. Yeah.
It's so interesting that you say that, because I never saw Ava as one-dimensional. I saw Ava as the juicy character. So juicy, I wanted to play her.
Everybody on.
It's hey. And when I put it out there, Quinta was just like, oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, it is Mrs. Howard, because that's how much I loved the character of Ava. But look how beautifully it's being played by Janelle. There you have it.
It could have gone. I try to picture, everybody would play her in a different way as actors, as actors do. But I feel like what I'm proud of is, like, they're going to have to kill me off now. Like, they used to just be able to sub in a different, light-skinned Viv or whatever on Viv. You know what I'm saying? They used to be able to swap you out. They can't swap me out, baby. I'm gonna have to I have to die in a skydiving accident or something. But so I'm proud of that I made her my own. Yeah. So yeah.
And Sheryl, you've played so many iconic characters, but Barbara has to be right at the top. How does she sort of fit in with all these remarkable roles that you've played over the years? What makes her stand out to you personally?
I go all the way back to the beginning. Very, very much, and most of the actors in here know that you create the story for your character. You create the history so that you know that character. And because I was able to play Barbara Hanley in Piece of the Action, I say, why is Barbara Howard such a wonderful teacher? Because she was that badass kid, in Piece of the Action, who needed the kind of teacher who could care for her, who could see her, who could understand her. And being that kid made her a much better teacher. So I make the connection like that for me. Yeah.
I never heard that. That's cool. And see, that's probably what people think of Ava. You know what I mean? And I think of Ava as she continues to show as a nerd. She was a nerd in school and probably got teased for that. And now she's the cool girl, like, I'll show you. Exactly. You know what I mean? But then her nerd comes out in all the different ways. So that's cool to hear that. Anyway.
Thank you.
Sorry.
And I bet you anything the cool kid in school was the janitor. I bet he was so cool in school.
They're usually the nicest person in the building. That's how I remember the janitors.
They're either really nice or a real pervert.
That's true.
Thank God Mr. Johnson is not a pervert. He's been everything else other than a pervert.
Exactly. I love just the things that come out of his mouth. Like, I'm just like, are you? And I think everything's real. I think everything he says, he actually really means. Like, he's in the loop.
Wonderful actor, William Stanford.
William Stanford Davis is so wonderful in that role.
Also a former stand-up comedian as well.
Yes.
Really? That's actually something that I think we learned this season is that Ava has been talking about her side hustles all these years, and we kind of laughed at them. Turns out they're real. Did you know show? I mean, you probably always played it as they were.
I mean, I played it as she was telling the truth, and I was relieved that they kept her that way. I think it would have, and I think that's a great thing that this show does, is that we don't do cliches. The cliche would have been like, oh, she's been lying this whole time, and she really lives in this post office location. And she really needs this job. And I love that they made her as fabulous as she says she is, as a hustler, which is what most poor people are, is hustlers. You know what I mean? And so I think that's even more realism, that you find out she had other things going. And then in the end of the day, it made it her choice to come and continue to be principal. She didn't need to, you know what I mean? Or wasn't forced to by financial means. So I loved that's the direction that they went in, and that she has other skills, and all those other skills fold into what makes her, although unconventional, a good principal.
It's
so
true.
I loved it.
Yeah. The show is obviously very, very funny, but there's so much heart, and we actually got to see some newer sides to your, well, I wouldn't say newer sides, but like some really emotional scenes from your characters this season. Did they give you sort of an advance of like what arcs?
So don't tell us nothing.
Really?
They tell us absolutely nothing.
Do you want to know?
No. No. I love being surprised.
Yeah.
I love being surprised so much that most of you know what a cold read is, right? Mm-hmm. So I practice that every script reading. Every time they send us the script, I don't read it. I read it at the table, because I always figure sometimes when you're in a job that is steady job, you can become stagnant as an actor. And we're always looking to grow as actors. So for me, it's what next skill can I sharpen as an actor? So now whenever you give me a script, I'm able to bring, I would say, 85% of that character to life upon never having read it, because I keep working at it every week. How can I do that? So that's how I look
snuggle
at
up the night before and I read the whole thing from top to bottom, and I feel like the cold read happens when we get there and they hand us the sides and it's totally different than what you read.
That
anyway,
too.
so
That too.
it's like, but I definitely want to know what happened. Maybe that's just nosy of me, but yes, yeah.
Did they give you any heads up that like Ava would show such a vulnerable side with her love interest Sean?
Oh,
No,
Sean.
she would never tell me something like she's so small and devious. Like she loves it. She loves to watch all of us like just tackle the different, and so she would never tell me. She wants to watch it in real time and like, you know. The only thing she did tell me, she told me I would get a love interest, and was very cool in like giving me like, do you have anybody in mind? I'm like, Idris Elba.
Yeah.
But that's why she's the dynamo she is, and I'm the actor, because of course if Idris Elba comes into our school, he's Idris Elba. He's not. Wouldn't work out, but she did give me the heads up that would be happening, and I was excited, but I had no idea what she would be doing with him. Yeah.
Sheryl, you mentioned, that doing a role, things can become stagnant at a certain point, and I love that the show is in its 4th season and it keeps surprising me. We keep seeing new dimensions. What is the challenging part, though, of playing the same role week after week? I actually think it would be hard just not to laugh and ruin takes.
Well, a lot of us, and very often at times, we, as a cast, we do break up. Oh. Because sometimes
Quinta the most.
Quinta breaks up, exactly. Quinta breaks up the most. But it's the fact that everybody is so on their game, what it is they do so right, and I go back to this, so right for the characters, that when they bring that little extra shade to it all, sometimes it's like, okay, wait a minute, I've got to laugh. Hold on, we're going to have to reshoot that because we can't hold it in. But I think because we're in these roles, and it has now been 4 years, it is very easy to become a character. And what we always strive to be are growing artists that keeps that 4 to 5 million people who are watching this show every week coming back every week and bringing other viewers with them. And I think we all work and strive towards that to be better than we were the episode before. Yeah.
I mean, I just always think about, I feel like this show has been special in that we have started it and continued it through so many disasters.
Yes.
Our first season was during the pandemic.
Yes.
I always bring it up because I think it's important.
Mm-hmm.
During the pandemic, we did the first season. The second season was multiple strikes.
That's right.
The third season was
The
LA
fire.
was on fire.
Yes.
Like, and so the fact that we're like doing excellent work and continue and it gets better is like so amazing to me.
Yes, it
And
is.
again goes back to the competition aspect. It's like that don't even like we killing this shit. You know what I mean? There's no trophy, you know,
Yeah.
that it's I'm so like proud of us. Like we are killing, like, oh my God, it's been such a journey
Yes, it has.
to get this show going. And
Say
so
it again. We're killing it.
killing it.
Yes.
Killing it. Wow. And that's in addition to our human problems, you know what I mean? So which all actors have. So I'm yeah, amazed
Yeah.
and proud. Yeah.
I'm not surprised, but it's always great when something great gets recognized. But have you been at all surprised by the response? Because people don't just love this show; they take it very personally. They love these characters. I don't even know if you can leave your houses. I don't know, like, and not get mobbed.
It's been great because we get, and I think we would all say this, we get met with love. We get met with appreciation. We get met by, fans who are not fanatic. They are truly in love with the show and in love with the characters. And they want us to know that. So sometimes, I'll be in places where I'll be eating and people will wait. It'll get to dessert and then they'll say, "Girl, I was waiting for you to finish." And it's really with a great deal of love.
People respect Sheryl. Here's the thing. She is the Sheryl Lee Ralph. Okay? They waiting for her to finish dessert. Nobody waits for me. And I do have fanatics, so it's been but the majority of it is meant for love. But what I do tell people is I don't know which one of you are crazy. And so there are some crazies, and I'm just gonna be real about it. So I do have to move differently, and I think it's also this character. This is a character that wants to be famous. So people are approaching me as Ava, who would love to stop for a paparazzi moment and be and shine and perform. And so sometimes that has been kind of terrifying. So
And nothing
But
prepares you for that. There's no like
definitely
acting class that
again
tells
never
you.
crossed my mind any of this. And I don't bother people, so I forget that other people. I forget that some people do, and it's honestly been something that I continue to deal with and get used to and try to remember what Sheryl is saying that it is. But I'll always say, even when people are approaching you with love, that requires energy as well.
Yes. Absolutely.
That requires energy as well. And so I just always try to explain to people I'm not Ava. Two, I'm a human being. And that doesn't make me ungrateful or a grump or anything to be like, hey, my mother is here with me. Don't take pictures of her. My son is here. I'm eating. My dog just died. Whatever. You know what I mean? Those type of things. So I don't even want to be fake and say that it's all great. But it's been a journey. Yeah. But 80% positive. Yes.
So let her finish dessert next time.
I'm not outside.
There's this old saying that I actually think is pretty stupid about never work with animals or children. Two of the things I love the most, other people's children, to be specific. And the young actors on this show are so good. They must keep, actually you work with animals too. You have a guinea pig. Yes. So technically you have both.
I don't work with that rat.
We're both like, nah, that's not us.
Work with that rat. No.
That's not us.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah, it is. Uh-huh. But the children.
The children.
The children
Adorable.
are amazing. So there was the holiday episode that we did, and the little girl who played the little Muslim girl who couldn't join in, right? So I said to her, well, are you going back to Chicago after you finish Abbott Elementary? That little girl looked at me and she said, oh, no. I said, really? You're going to stay here and audition for some other things? She said, no, I'm on another series.
Really?
And I looked it up, and that little girl was on a whole nother series.
Really?
It got canceled, but
Damn.
but she was on a
Girl, hating
whole
on this
nother
little
show.
girl. Y'all
I'm
see
not
that?
hating on them
Barbara
children.
Howard. Barbara Howard does not know.
But those children, they're working.
Yeah.
And when we look at, the group of kids that we work with, they're not just going to be in front of the camera. They're trying to figure out and think about things like directing. One of them said, "What's cut?" And we're like, okay, cut means we're going to end this scene. They're learning. They're taking in all of this information. They're talking about being writers and such. And it is amazing to see it. And when I look at them, I know I'm working at looking at and working with another generation of actors who 10 years from now are going to say, Miss Ralph, I worked with you on Abbott Elementary. And I'm going to say, what the hell?
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be like that. Mm-hmm.
As usual, I'm gonna come to it from another angle, and child acting is another thing I don't agree with. So I am so happy that these kids are on our show, where we truly take care of them. And I always, for me, I don't like kids to feel like they have a job. I think that's weird. And so that's my role on there. I know that they think I'm the fun principal, and I'll do that for them. Yeah, definitely. I'm learning the TikToks in my spare time to do with them, and just having fun and like making sure that they're relaxed and safe and nobody's messing with them. And that's something Quinta really leans into and means, and I just want them to have like a good experience, and they are, which with Sheryl is, because they are now, they are able to learn and are immersed in the whole experience of not just acting, but all the other jobs that's happening, which I think is so important for kids. Like, you can't know you want a job until you see it.
Exactly.
I think that's so important. And for us to have all these Black kids on our set who are, a lot of them aren't professional actors. We went out and found them. For them to even be in that environment is so amazing. And so that's what I always think of, like, I hope you're having a good time. Hope this is a enriching experience for you, and that you're safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of normalizing healthy sets. Because I think a lot of
that
people-
part. That part.
need
We
drama.
hit the jackpot, y'all. Like,
We
truly,
tell them.
truly, such a. I've heard. I ain't been at a lot of places, set wise, but I've heard, and we've hit the. I'm blessed.
Amen.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you, when she talks about making sure that the kids are taken care of, we really do our best as adults to respect their youth. Yeah. We don't do a lot of acting out. We don't even do a lot. We don't curse around the kids to the most of our ability. It's true. Out of
Lisa
respect
and Walter. No.
for their youth. We used to have a jar where you'd have to put money in to it. Well, maybe I was overflowing. But anyway, we really, really try to respect the kids' youth because like she said, we want them to grow into this industry and their children. Fact. So, and I think that, like Janelle said, too often on sets, people don't respect the kids that they are, and we want them to be nurtured properly on our set so that they know how to behave on the next set that they go to.
And how to be treated.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Before we go, of course, Abbott Elementary is coming back for a 5th season.
Yes.
I know you said that they don't give you any kind of hint of where your characters are going. Do you have any idea, or do you have like a dream scenario for?
I think we said this is Comic-Con, so I can say it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I know for my character, I'm in love.
Oh.
So that's a totally new side of Ava. I'm in love and happy about it. I was surprised about that as well. I feel like Ava's a character that don't like to give up power. So that's going to be a new, you know, as she, again, each season, we all reveal a different part of our personality. And so that's, at least for what we've done so far, which is we've read 6 episodes so far. I'm
8
in love for 6
isn't it?
episodes, y'all.
Yes.
That's longer than most relationships. If you think about it. So, great.
I think for Barbara Howard, what I'm seeing in these scripts is something changes about her life that really makes her happy, something that she's been anticipating. It happens, and so she's happy. But now, you know, it seems like she was a bit of a grump last year.
A little bit.
You know, she was a bit of a grump. You're very much of the, very much of the, you know, an actor told me something. A young actor said to me, Miss Ralph, you taught me something this season at Abbott. And I said, really, what'd I teach you? And he said, you taught me that you don't have to always act through lines. Sometimes you can be in the scene and just be in the scene and act. And I was like, well, damn, thank you. Thank you very much. And I didn't realize that just being in the character through whatever, that people were actually watching that. So sometimes when you get the side eye and they catch it on the camera that is always going around. Okay, let me tell you the truth. You know why I had to lose some weight? Because that doggone camera is always around. And there came this scene where all of a sudden the camera was behind me, and my behind was from the left to the right. And I said, that ain't gonna happen, not one more season.
Look. Okay. I fluctuate, but that was pandemic, Barbara. We were all left or right for a season.
My
you know what I
goodness.
mean? But yeah.
Well, again, it's such a fantastic show. As the daughter of 2 teachers, actually, you know that we have some teachers here who love the
Yes.
show. That's the highest compliment you can receive.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for being a great audience.
Thank
Please join us for the
you.
reception.
Thanks for having us.